Welcome to Shomach Shov on the Daf. Shir sponsor Loinish Basayim Yaakov Shalom Milei Abbas Yitzchok. We're holding a Sanhedrin Daf Kuvov. The Gemara in Daf explains what happened with Bilam after he was unsuccessful in cursing Am Yisrael. He gave the eitzah, he gave the advice to Balak that Elukayim shel elu soine Zima. Kodesh Baruch Hu hates Zima, and that's the way that Balak will overcome Am Yisrael. How do we understand that Kodesh Baruch Hu soine Zima? From all Averis, Kodesh Baruch Hu Kiviyachol hates Zima more than anything else. So Gedolei Rabbeinu give us a little bit of a key to understand it. The Averis Rabishitz in the Yaris Vash Chalakav Dalet explains that Zima is considered klape Gilui Kodesh Baruch Hu in the world. Kedavar Mos is as if there is a dirt, like someone gets disgusted by by tsoya, by dirt. So for klape Gilui Kodesh Baruch Hu in the world, that's what Zima does. Meaning, it makes the Adam in a very low level. The Shem Yishmuel, Pashas Behar, Tafresh Ein Hei, adds to it that when a person is shakua, connected to Zima, so that takes him away from his connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It removes him from the connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Maharal explains like this. In the Sivat Shua Perek Ches, he explains based on the Gemara that says that the word Zima means Zu Mahi. What is Zima? It's Yetzer Hara Bilvat Ve'eino Dover. There's no mamashas over here. There's no reality over here. It's just something which doesn't really exist except in the Yetzer Hara's eyes. And in Derech Chaim, in Avos Perkei Mishtates, the Maharal adds to it that the idea of Zima is something which completely gufni. It's completely physical. It has no element of anything that has to do with spirituality. It's so gufni, so it's disconnecting the Adam, who is an Neshama Mal from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's connecting him from his source. And an additional concept, idea into this, Dr. Tzadok HaKohen in a few places, one of them is Likutei Ma'amarim Sefer Yeshua, says the Zima is all sheker. It's a lie. There's no actual existence over here. There's no actual achievement that a person achieves through Zima. It's only a temporary joy that a person has, temporary pleasure. Anything that has to do with temporary pleasure is something which has nothing to do with ruchnius. Because ruchnius, spirituality, is something which is nitzchi, which is eternity. Something which is very, very limited. A very specific joy which is now, and it brings no benefit and no element of anything that has to do with future. That is a davar which is gufni, which is physical, which is the opposite of what spirituality is all about. And that's what is Zima, and that's the definition of Zima. And that's the opposite of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which Chesamo Emes. The Gilui HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world is the idea of Emes, and Emes means something which has a hemshech, which has a continuation. That's what Zima is the exact opposite. So if we take what we learned in the previous daf and connect it to here, we see like this. Bilam was trying his best to create a separation from Gilui HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world to Am Yisrael. He knows there's a HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world, but he's trying to use the elements of Midas Adin we spoke about to come and do some separation that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not completely revealed in this world. Anyone who listens carefully can hear over here that this is really the idea of Avodah Zarah. What's Avodah Zarah in the world? Avodah Zarah is when HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak, doesn't reveal himself fully. And there's a place or a mistake to say that maybe there's some other powers in the world. That's mitzat Kodesh Baruch Hu. As we spoke in the previous daf, Kodesh Baruch Hu lo yizom bo'isam yamim. There was no anger, which means that Kodesh Baruch Hu revealed himself fully. There was no cover-up. But then a Adam can distance himself from Kodesh Baruch Hu from his perspective. The connection of Adam to HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes from both ways. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mizgali milamalo, and Adam needs to connect from milamato. He needs to do his ishtar is to connect to above. So mitzad Gilui HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world, there is a stadium. There's things that are masking the Gilui HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that was gone during the days of Bilam. But mitzad Adam, a human being himself, can cover himself up from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What covers an Adam from HaKadosh Baruch Hu? That is Zima, that is Arias. That is when a person himself, distances himself, connects to his body, and removes his spirituality, and then he is distancing himself from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Yimele, Bilam's goal is to come and have the separation with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Klal Yisrael, and then to create a klala. He wanted to do mitzad kuchabrichu's gilui. It did not work. So he comes to Balak and say there's another solution. You could do mitzad the Adam. Let them be disses for Kodesh Baruch Hu from their own perspective. And there he was successful. And that's what brought the Klolo back to Klal Yisrael. And this is also the key for us. That as much as we removed from Zima, the more connected we are to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Anybody wants to join Shomachshava email list to WhatsApp group, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.